Now we gotta do that again. Make some noise!
All right. Mic check.
Here we go. Hey. All my aunties make some noise. There's my aunties. Yeah.
All right. I know y'all just did the woo, but can we show them some love? Let's show them some love. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. It is such a I'm standing right over here. It is such a blessing to have you both here with us at Tismac. What are you guys feeling about the energy, watching all of the step shows?
Love it. Y'all was working hard. Y'all put in that work. It's great. I got time watching.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the book. So, y'all, did you know that Millionaire Williams, and Miss Williams, she wrote a book called Mental Health Matters. Luke, you got the book? Where's the book at? If you come, then you gotta read Mental Health Matters. Ms. Millie, can you please tell us about this wonderful book that you wrote and then saw you co-authored this? So I would love for you guys to share a little bit about that story.
Stop pumping your mic. That's okay.
Oh,
Yes. Pull your hand down. Alright, that's feedback.
thank you. I'm gonna get some lessons after this. See, that's why I love you. For these reasons.
Well, I would love to share with the audience the book here that I'm holding. As Devin stated, my sister Salt over here, we co-authored with a number of other authors. It's a compilation of 22 authors, all sharing their stories about trauma. And at the end of each chapter, I ask each of them to write a synopsis on triumphs over trauma, the lessons learned. Because the book is filled with a lot of trauma stories, and I didn't want the readers to walk away with all this trauma and like, what do I do with it? Where am I going with this? So it was interesting because only 2 of the authors had ever written a book before. So we did a year of book coaching on Zoom. We got together, we kept the synergy going. Salt was there each month, and I thank you for that, my sister. I know with your busy schedule. But we are the Mental Health Coalition USA for women and families. And what we're doing is creating a forum for us to have open dialogue about mental health because it matters to each of us. I tell people when you're dealing with mental health challenges, and maybe you've been diagnosed, and I'll share a little bit about that. The fact is, mental health is just like stepping in snow. It affects everyone in the family, not just the person dealing with the disorder, but everyone is affected. So how this came about in my life, my son had joined the United States Marine Corps long before war. So he went in at a time when it was inactive. However, move the story forward, 9/11, he was deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan for 9 months. He comes back and the huge celebration for him. I'm thinking, oh, my son's back from war. You know, all his body parts are here. So I'm thinking we're good. But no, that is not how the story is. He has a full mental breakdown 6 weeks after getting out of the military. And so that began my journey. At the time, I was a vice president of the Chamber of Commerce back in North Carolina, a county commissioner. So I was living a whole life. But this happened, and I had gone back to school to get my degree in entrepreneurialism, but I changed over psychology. I've also been certified as a life and mental health coach, certified trauma informed coach, So I've come alongside my son during this journey. And he's been in jail. With that, we've had all these ups and downs. It's family upside down. But I am a warrior. You me. And I told the devil not on my watch. So I wrote letters to my congressman. I got all levels, layers involved. And so I'm going to pass the mic to you and let you go forth and share how we met and how this narrative came along, how this collaboration came along.
So I met Million at an MC Light event, and she stood up and she started talking about her son, Jerome, and his mental illness. And I had gone through something similar with my brother. My brother was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic and had been institutionalized most of his life. And so we just related, and she wanted me to do a forward on another book she was writing. We lost touch with each other. And one day I was in concert and I saw Million in the front going, Cheryl. So my security brought her backstage, and that's how we got reconnected.
And the first thing I said to you, Cheryl, I need your cell number here. Not the publicist, not the producer. Your number.
So I gave her my number, and we ended up doing this book together. She asked me if I would do a chapter. So I'm the first chapter. It's about my brother. It's called I Am My Brother's Keeper. The reason this is close to my heart, besides the experience, is just a lot of people in my family are dealing with it, with their sons. The jails are filled with black men who don't belong there, who actually need help. My brother went to jail. I think you said Jerome went to jail, because when they act out, they end up in prison, not knowing that they're ill or getting shot. So this for us is a very serious endeavor. We're looking to change some laws and do some things, but most of all, I feel like it's such a stigma on mental health, and I think everybody in some capacity, whether it's anxiety or depression, or whether it is a chemical balance, people are embarrassed to share, to be vulnerable, to reach out for help. I just did a thing with my cousins. It's like I took 20 of my cousins to Miami, and they thought they was coming to party, but I had another thing in mind. We did party the first night, but the second night and the second day, my goal was to get them to share, because a few of them was dealing with their children having mental illness, but they weren't talking to each other. And so I wanted to bridge the gap between them, to support each other, to be vulnerable with each other, because it's so unique dealing with someone who is severely mentally ill and you're growing up with them, or you are a parent of a mentally ill person. It's very harrowing, and you need a lot of support. So we're here to, to spread the awareness and to hope that people will reach out for help.
Right? And so we would love to hear more about the music that you have coming up and how we can support. And my favorite song, can you rap it? That's it.
So yeah, I got some music out, a solo endeavor. I'm not going solo, it's just a solo project. I ain't salt and pepper forever. But I want to say some things on my own. So the name of the album is Salty and Lit. It's based on Matthew 13:5, I want to say through 6. We are the salt of the earth. We are salt and light. Never hide your light under a bowl. Put it on a stand for the world to see. Right? So you gotta let your light shine. So I took salt, we are salt and light, and I made it hip hop, we are salty and lit. I have 2 singles out. One is called Chosen. One is called Kings and Queens, which is Steppers just did a little piece. Thank you for that. That was very cool. I wasn't expecting it. But it's a shout out to my Melanin Kings and my Melanin Queens, a celebration of being Black in America and our culture. You can listen to my music on all streaming platforms except Spotify, preferably Bandcamp, because independent artists need support. Like, if we can go consumer to artist artist to consumer, and cut out the capitalism. I'm in a fight for my masters with UMG now, trying to get rightfully what I own rightfully back. So support your local artists, support your independent artists, by going straight to them. And not necessarily through streaming. Streaming is getting played out.
Yes. So before we wrap, can we do that first one, the kings and queens? We didn't hear it with the step. We didn't hear when they stepped to it. We want don't we hear one too?
Here's to my kings and my queens, hip hop and rap fiends. I ain't talking pipes, I'm talking about rap dreams. I can't breathe. All I see is hands and white knees. 2025 here with like me. Time moving too fast, it's hard thing. Listen to my track and do the right thing. They smile on your face by putting a knife in. Backstabbers can't stand them. They try to play the anthem. Let every voices sing, kiss the rain. Here's to my melanin kings. They exchange strange truth for yellow tape and chalk lines. How many murders? How many of us lost lives? How many lies? How many cries? How many rallies? Yeah, though I walk through the valley on that rap tip. Like catfish on bricks. Like 80s hip hop, pump the fist like this.